again. Here I am. Visions by Anna Corral. Just driving and working. And again, can't see a lot because I need to get something that sits up higher so I could just at least give you some beautiful nature. But the purpose of me just being here is to talk in a way where you have to listen. It's not about seeing somebody. It's not about needing to see somebody. You just need to listen and just hear and connect. Because before there was all this interactive shit, there just used to be words. And before there were words, caveman, what were they doing? They were just making sound. And before that, oh my God, it's just frequency and energy and pulses. Oh my God, I took you all the way back. Let me bring you all the way forward. So, it's just a way to keep basics alive in having a connection, a conversation, an understanding, an awareness, something that keeps engagement on a basic level. Because if we lose basics, we lose everything in this game we call life. And can we really afford it? Because I'm telling you, I'm seeing shit that don't make no sense every day. I wake up and go, what now? What the hell now does these great minds that are computers computing and creating and generating, and they're making apartments that are underground, and you're gonna live underground because they couldn't sell you on the 5 mile, 15 mile, I don't know how many miles that they only want you to exist in cities above. So we're going to punish you. We're going to convince you that you're not even at the darkest of the dark side. You're going to go lower. Yay! Now I'm going to go underground. No sunlight whatsoever. Oh, wait, you got false fake shit. So, okay. And they're still going to be able to control it all. They're going to decide when your biorhythm. Oh, so much fun. I digress. Anyway, this is the second video because I did not come back yesterday as much as I wanted to. Sometimes so much shit happens, and I'll tell you, it happens because of alignment. When there are things that we have not dealt with, or that we're dealing with, or that need to be squared away, and if you just listen, it's kind of like listen to the wind. The wind tells you what's about to happen. When the wind blows in certain places, you're like, uh-oh, got a storm coming. When the wind blows in other places, ooh, tornado is coming. It's all relevant. So, oh damn, I missed my turn off. Anyway, okay, so now we're going this way. Anyway, so when the wind blows, it has information, but you have to know how to listen to nature. You have to know how to read different signs, see codes. You have to know how to see past your feet. You have to have a mind that is capable of processing and learning something different than what it's been so programmed and so conditioned to just accept. So much going on all the time, and I just couldn't come back last night because sometimes the world around me, I might feel at times like I'm not good inside of me because I'm not where I want to be, but yet the world outside of me as well is going through their own shit shows and their own misinterpretations, misfiring, miss everything, misunderstandings. And guess what? What most people don't realize is you can only attract that which is like you. So what's around you is like you, whether you like it or not, until you are no longer just acting that way, being that way, staying in that predicament or that position. And so I just had to let go and go to sleep. And sometimes I work so hard in a day, and I'm getting older. I'm getting older. Oh my God. It's like a battle inside of my head and with the physical, because you know when old people say, I feel like I'm still 22. It's true. It's true. You were different than what your body is allowing. But the beauty though is I don't just stand still. The moment I know that muscle needs to constantly be working, and that you need to elevate your mind, and you need to get out of your head, get out of your way, and you need to do things better, how you live, health is wealth. That's so true. I'm not going down making excuses, I'm putting in the work. I'm losing weight. I'm always doing, okay? Always doing. So this is like my part 2 of things that I have ran across, because as I work, I have a brain that has to be fed something constructive or productive. I need to learn. I need to relate. So I'm either learning something, and that's the great thing about YouTube. Don't get it wrong. There's only 2 things on here that people are here for. You're either teaching them something that they don't know how to do and be for themselves, and they are really wanting that knowledge, that wisdom, or they want to be entertained. And that's a beautiful thing too, because everything being serious all the time, not only are you going to get wrinkles, you're really hurting yourself inside. So I don't thrive on being unhappy. That's not my true nature. And just like all of you guys, I am just trying to figure it all out, like if I could show you, sometimes I want so desperately to pull people out of a human construct and say, when we're not here, we want so desperately to be here, because we are so enthralled. We are so excited that we have an ability, a chance to productively produce and do something and be something great from that. But we don't know that, because gravity and emotions keeps us weighed down. And then let's just pile on more shit with what we don't know, what we don't do, how fast we move, how fast we don't move. I mean, we really complicate the most basic, simple shit. And then you have an outside reality that not only facilitates, but it fosters where you're at with yourself. And you're only feeling what you're feeling from where you're at with yourself. I'm telling you, this reality is something. I'll never say I know it all. I know a lot. And I don't open my mind, because again, I'm going to explain, I don't care what title you call me, oracle, psychic, medium, healer, witch, bitch, I don't care. Say whatever you want. Like, I'm an anomaly, and I love, and I thank God every day that I don't have some of the massive blinding and construct of being dumbed down to the point where if I say, do you see that on the wall? And you say, see what? Oh my God. I can't. If I could not function high vibrationally, if just for myself, and I'm a work in process. Like, I have a spiritual soul aspect that knows exactly how it's moving, but I have this dumb human trauma dumped shit going on where I'm like, feel like my whole life I'm trying to not get caught up in the shit. Oh my God. And I'm not afraid about vulnerability. I'm not afraid of shit. But when we come from Generation X, if you're not from that, we survived ourselves. Oh my God, we survived ourselves. Shit. We destroyed ourselves, survived ourselves, lived through ourselves. Shit. We are exactly what this world needed in order to shake the shit out of the masses and be like, before you had all this shit that you're so glued to, we were lost just having to create our own fun and use our imagination in ways that was physical, and where now everybody's just a fucking lump of marshmallows that's just a blob. And it's and I don't want to talk shit, because you know what, I know that it really is about your time, my time, your time. When you really want to do something, you'll do it, and you will reap the results, whatever that is. You will win whatever that is. I know, because I've done it. But it's like, we're just not at a time where every day this reality is spitting up more shit that we gotta think about. How do we manage this? How do we walk through it and be as least impacted and affected as possible, and not get caught up? Because it's like, okay, so I gotta sit here and tell myself, it's okay, we're gonna be good, don't worry, we got this. And yet we feel things, and you gotta be productive. Honest to God, you gotta be productive, because when you're not, and you have too much time on your hands, and you make excuses, you go down that type of rabbit hole, and that is not a healthy place for anybody to be. But then again, we're all putting on these great facades that I'm okay, we're good, no problem, you're gonna take more shit away from me, okay. Why is it always that it's the people that are poor help everybody? Where are the rich people? Oh yeah, there are some people that are very kind no matter what kind of money they come from, but they're so far and few between, we think. That's not true, because I've known people all over the spectrum of socioeconomic tiers, and it's not about that. It's just about the individual, you know. So I hate when people say, well, it's another ism. Ism is what I call it. We always try to slap labels on shit and call it something different and call it a day up. Yep, call it a day, because I put an ism at the end of it. Oh my God. So, yesterday also, I was listening to podcasts, and I love when people break down information, because then I go and do my due diligence, and I go, that's interesting. Let me make sure that that's factual, because I don't want to talk out my ass. I don't want to talk sideways. I don't want to throw something at the wall just to see if it sticks and be like, woo, pulled that off. No, I really want to know what the fuck, because we're going through so much what the fuck that, you know, knowledge is power. And when you know something, it validates the way you feel. It validates why you're where you're at, and you can move, you can change, you can transfer from that. So I was so like, we're all like, why are we fighting so hard for Israel? And let me say one thing. This is not about individual people. This is about regimes that are doing bait and shuffle transfers at the expense of all of us. Okay, let me be very, very clear. I don't just look at somebody and go, I think I have nothing better to do today, but just put you in a block increment and go, I don't like you. I just think that I'm just going to label you, and I'm just going to constrain and confine this way, and that's that. Lovely. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I really wanted to understand, and I'm going to give you some secrets, because even in all of my rambling, if you really listen, because this is why I'm doing stuff like this way, because you have to just sit back and listen. And I hope in between you laugh and go, this crazy bitch, or you say, you know what, I get it, or damn, I don't even know what the hell she's talking about, so maybe I should re-listen, or maybe I should just Google or chat. I hate chat. Grok is my thing. I don't know, whatever. There's a million other, I don't know. Use the one that Joe Rogan uses. I don't know, begins with a P. Paralysis. I don't know, probably ain't paralysis. It's something. Anyway, That's not the point. The point is, do your due diligence, know what it is that you're hearing and thinking about and wanting to be clear about for yourself, or whatever point. So my point is that what I learned was that, what is this relationship? Why are we seeing things being acted out the way that they are between the president of our country and this, I don't have a nice word, so I'll just say it, who is running Israel. And it was that Donald Trump's dad, Fred Trump, knew Bibi Netanyahu when he was the ambassador for Israel to the United States. That is a very long history of working with people on the outside and really getting to know them over time, regardless of what you think about people. That's their familiarity. That's a baseline of their familiarity. I thought that was fascinating. That was fascinating for me because when you're not paying attention to something, or it's not relevant, because what's relevant is what you're doing now or where you're at now, you're not having to think broadly. You're not having to go and really widen your ability to see or know past something until you're like, all right, our reality is way out of control. So now I got to add this and break this down and think about this so that I can process and digest, or I can understand something that I don't. Because none of us feel good about what we are caught up in. And whether we are caught up by our own demise, and that is really going to throw people for a lot of loop, because you're going to hear me say a lot of times, you are the problem until you're not. So what are you going to do different? I have to say this to myself all the time. Anything I don't like, anything that I struggle with, anything that I am in denial or refusal, I have to understand I'm there. I'm choosing that, or I'm guilty until I'm not, because it's the way that things work. I'm trying to give you what some would call secret knowledge, information, wisdom that's not spoken but whispered. I'm hoping that people will take away from what I know and implement it in themselves, not for a selfish, ignorant reason, but so that they feel better, so that they are productive better for themselves, and that they can move themselves out of whatever they feel is hurting them, or whatever they feel is enabling. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So I'm hoping that you catch keywords, because the way my brain works, when I hear something that maybe other people aren't paying attention to because it's irrelevant to them, I'll be like, what'd they say? And then I go back and I re-listen, and then I start looking and researching and siphoning out. So I'm always looking for a keyword. I'm looking for a key something to hit me virtually in the head, and I go, who are you? What you might want to know about your mind is that what you think is going to be created from you. So if you think about something and then you're not so insanely focused on it to the point where it can't even bloom or develop, then you'll receive it quicker. But if you're so caught up and you're caught up with emotions that are so detrimental in negativity, fear, anxiety, blah, 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 you block, we call it, you block your blessings. And it's very hard to learn how to play the mind game when you have taught to be submissive and subordinate in a way where you are controlled. Here's another one. Television. I'm going to tell a vision. And how do they do that? Through programming. programs. And when you're watching programs, what are you doing? You're being programmed. You're being conditioned. You do something enough times, you get really good at it, whatever it is, whether it's something dumb, something very, very smart, whatever, but you get the gist. Anyway, so that was very fascinating. So now I understood, oh, that is how these two people have these endearing engagements, and why, maybe just one little piece of why they're working together until they're not. Because I really, honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't feel it's gonna work out. I don't feel it's been working out. I just, sometimes, because you can't control anything but yourself, but that which outside of you is meant to destroy itself, it does. If you run around talking bad, feeling bad, being bad, guess what? That's all you keep recycling, regurgitating, and it's a problem, and you will be pushed out, and you will be pushed away, and you might still be that constant chaos, but you're going to get rejected. You're going to get rejected so hard to the point where you can't fall back nowhere where you want to be. So I'm hoping that in that you will see what is happening and going to happen really bad for Israel in this, because again, this is not for the innocent people. This is for those who are caught up just like we're caught up. There's so many of us around the world that are caught up because these people are playing a game at our expense, unfortunately. So, clarity. I really hope that everything that I just talked about right there, that you'll catch on to what I'm saying, and you'll be like, oh snap, she said something without having to actually say something. Because that's really important when it comes to, you never know what YouTube allows. You never know. You just never know what can and can't be accepted, because what's accepted today, tomorrow they'll decide, I don't feel like that word. You know how the game, so many people, and the bad thing about it all is these platforms, these social media platforms, they're private. So, yes, we're leasing space, virtual space, and we're offering something, and people are buying in, they're invested. So, okay, there's the commodity, and we're getting a return, whatever that is, whether it's monetary or just, attention until we get to, because the goal is what? To make money, and because you're really good at something, because you're thriving in your environment at whatever it is that you're skilled at. So I hope y'all catch on to that little tidbit of, I swear to God, I talk, and there's really good information there in between how I try to finesse it and say it without saying it so directly, so that it gets accepted, because we never know. We never know what's getting accepted and what's not getting accepted, because we're only here right now. Anyway, that is what I wanted to touch on for right now, because I have to go back to work. And I will say that I am really glad that it's staying lighter longer. I've found the past 5 years that I've become fascinated with working down to it being dark sooner, and then working to being lighter longer, and like how much it affects you mentally and emotionally, and how you can move in that different type of headspace of what you're thinking that does energy wise. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's just me in my head, just having conversations, just working it all out for myself and bringing whoever happens to trip and fall and bump your virtual head and find yourself listening, because listening is very important. And I have spent most of my life being so fast that I really didn't listen, and there are many reasons why. Many reasons. Could be immaturity, could be that I caught on really quick and didn't need to recap things over. But then again, you know what? In this game called life, we all fell into it and were introduced by how we were brought up. And then the construct of social awareness, what do I want to call this? Social engineering. And, it's not just you're born and then all of a sudden, it's just your family. No, it's everything. It's what you yourself become interested and bring forth to understand or connect with. So anyway, I hope for the best. I hope that I entertained you. I hope that I gave you something to think about, no matter how you take it. I hope you come back if you want to, and please feel free to leave your thoughts and comments. I do listen and I do engage, and I have a plan that as this ball gets rolling again, what I'm going to offer to people that is really fun, because sometimes you need to have fun. It shouldn't all be so alternative to clinical, because that's where I really took my practice. It wasn't about just entertaining people. That got really old after a long time, because I did that. But when people don't change for the better, and they're just, it's like an addiction. You're caught up. You don't go anywhere but right back to again. That just didn't work for me, because I evolved and I went past where I was. And some people could go on that journey and they appreciate my time and how good I am at what I do, and those who still appreciate who I am. I just no longer was the martyr that was saving you from yourself and just getting paid for that. It's exhausting. I'm exhausting to myself, and everything that you're going to listen and hear is a lot of truth. It's a lot of honesty in the details. I'm not ever going to say, ha ha ha, I'm good, you're bad. Fuck that shit. We're all in it together, no matter where we are. And when we connect, it's really good. It's really great to feel like, oh, somebody understands me, or oh man, like I get it. Okay, cool. I'm knowing, I got enough of a little fix that I'm not completely so emaciated or absorbed that I'm alone. Because we're not alone. We're just alone in the way that we wrote our own stories to play out, and how that all lines up. Anyway, okay, my people, I will talk to you with the next thoughts for sure. Bye-bye.